What's up, my fellow morons? Welcome to the free edition of Moron Money. If you like what you see here, you can get a couple episodes per week behind the paywall at patreon.com/blindmike. We also have a Sunday and Thursday edition of Moron Money, so you can get those there, as well as a bunch of other content. If you're not familiar, we do a bunch of other wacky stuff on patreon.com/blindmike. So check that out if you like. And remember that this is in no way financial advice. It's for entertainment and information, and this is called Moron Money. So if you take it as advice, you're a bigger moron than I am. It's just a springboard to doing your own research. So enough of that. Let's dive in. I want to talk about a couple things today, and that is a cannabis stock that I like a great deal, and things may be getting better for them, it looks like, and also update you on Bitcoin and some news going on in the world of crypto. I will start with the stock market, which looks like it's making a bit of a turn. It's coming back today a little bit. On the Patreon, I talked about Nano Dimension and Cinedigm yesterday, and some of the news on price with them and why they're fluctuating a little bit. But today, I want to talk about Aphria, which is something I've talked about a lot in the past. They are my choice for cannabis stock. A Canadian-based company that is attempting to go through a merger with Tilray. It looks like that's going to happen very soon. And once that does happen, it would make them, in terms of revenue, the largest cannabis company on planet Earth, the world leader. And I like them a lot for a couple reasons. So Aphria, before the merger with Tilray, right before, acquired Sweetwater Brewing Company out of Georgia, which is obviously a brewing company. And they are in 27 states, I believe. They're in stores all over the country. And Sweetwater Brewing also has a line of cannabis brand beverages, which you're starting to see that pop up. I'm here in Massachusetts, and you see cannabis-infused seltzers now coming to dispensaries. I have not tried them. I don't know if they're going to take off, but it is something that you see a lot of companies attempting that. Aphria was one of the first I saw to do this, and that's good for a couple of reasons. A, it gets them into the alcohol business, which I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's fairly successful. And B, it gets them a foothold into America. Sweetwater Brewing Company is out of Georgia. Aphria is out of Canada, like I said. Canadian companies cannot currently sell their product in America. That's troubling for a lot of people, but the reason I'm not worried about it is because of that Sweetwater Brewing Company deal. I think that was very smart of them, and it was a way for them to immediately get to America once those borders open up. But that's all old news. If you're an Aphria stockholder already, you probably already know that, or you should. The reason I'm talking about them today is because recreational marijuana was just legalized in New York. This has been happening all over the country, and I imagine by the end of Mr. Biden's presidency, then it will be officially all over the country. It'll be, I know it's decriminalized all over the country, but it will be a lot more common. So I guess what I wanted to talk to you about, because the news of, anytime cannabis stock is legalized in a big state like New York, or news happens like that, you see the prices surge. But the reason I wanted to talk to you about it today is because I want to alert you not to panic. These things take a long time. Like I said, I live in Massachusetts, and you've heard this in Colorado and California and Illinois now. These things take a long time to get off the ground. The government really jams you up. I have not cursed yet, have I? Good boy. I almost did there. But the government does what they can to get their fingers inside you and really twist. But so it takes a long time to get these dispensaries opened up. And, eventually I think there'll be, weed bars and weed lounges and places where you can just go and smoke the way you would drinking. Restaurants that allow it. I don't know. That'll be weird because of smoking. I guess with edibles, they could pull that off, but I digress. Point is, I think it's going to be all over the place, but that takes a while with all this red tape that these companies face. So, if you are buying Aphria or any other cannabis stock, based on the news that New York has legalized recreational marijuana, or any news that you see, A lot of people buy the rumors, sell the news. When that's, rumored, they buy, and then they sell when it actually happens to make a profit. Personally, I'm not into that. I'm not into trading. I'm into stocks like Aphria for the long term. And I think that, you look at Aphria as a $17 stock now. It's been up in the 20s not too long ago. People say it's still inflated, and they say once the merger goes through, you might see that price dip. Maybe that's true. But I believe, even if it dips in August, I think what we're looking at 5-10 years down the road is much bigger than anything in the $17 range. So make sure you keep an eye on that. Look into Aphria because that's my personal favorite. There's a million of these stocks. I know CGC is the big one that everyone likes. And then for the smaller players, you've got Hexo and Sundial, and there's a million of these. And we don't know what the leader is going to be. I personally like Aphria for all the reasons I told you. And Erwin Simon is taking over even once the merger happens, the current CEO of Aphria. And he seems like a good egg with a solid head on his shoulders. So for all those reasons, I like Aphria. But let me know in the comments what your stock of choice is in the world of cannabis, and maybe I'll talk about those another time. But that's pretty much it on the stock market. Like I said, I talked about Cinedigm and Nano Dimension yesterday on the patreon.com/blind Mike edition of Moron Money. So go check that out if you'd like. And we've been talking a little more stocks on the channel lately, more than we usually have, because we're usually into crypto, which leads me to my next bit of news. Not a ton going on. You see the Bitcoin price starting to rise, as well as pretty much every other cryptocurrency right now as I record this. Bitcoin took a dip all the way to 51,000, and people started to panic. Oh, God, what's happening? And a lot of people, you start to wonder, is this did we hit the top? And are we going way back down now? And then we'll see you in 4 years for the next cycle. Personally, I don't think so. In fact, I don't know that the same cycle is going to happen. Everyone talks about this 4-year cycle, and we are pretty much on the exact trajectory that we were on in 2017. So that would indicate that this 4-year cycle is holding up. But it's just hard for me to believe. Now, I don't know if people can explain to you how the charts and the technical aspect of it work a lot better than me. So go check those channels out. Like Crypto Capital Venture is a good one. So check those guys out. If you want more technical analysis, I don't fully understand how that works. I just look at it from the perspective of a guy who sees all these billionaires getting into Bitcoin. And then when you see Goldman Sachs and Fidelity, and now Tesla's accepting Bitcoin as payment, that all seems like very bullish news to me, which should indicate that it won't be on the same 4-year cycle. You won't see the same type of dips that you did. But what do I know? I'm a moron. The reason I'm talking to you today is to maybe ease your concerns about certain things. So Ray Dalio is a billionaire, very, very rich, intelligent guy who was on Yahoo Finance the other day talking about Bitcoin. And he laid out some of the positives about Bitcoin, but then he got into why he thinks the U.S. government will outlaw Bitcoin. The U.S. government will make it illegal to hold Bitcoin. I don't believe that's going to happen, but you hear that a lot. In fact, I was just talking with an idiot last night, a rube, a simpleton, my producer, Craig, on the Blind Mike project last night. And he asked about Bitcoin and said, well, wasn't it seems silly to even say. It's how foolish I thought it was. But I think a lot of people think like this. He said, wasn't Bitcoin made for all sorts of illicit activity? That wasn't its intention. I think that gets misconstrued a lot. That was not Bitcoin's intention. It was used for that early on. And to some extent, it is still used for illegal activity, which a lot of people like Ray Dalio point out. And I would counter with, well, how much illegal activity is transacted with cash? You think drugs have ever been bought with cash? Personally, I'm going to confess something to you people. I have bought marijuana before it was legal with U.S. currency. Before I was 21, this is an illegal act. I bought alcohol with USD. Crazy, I know. But if you can believe it, there are some crimes, even by greater villains than me, perpetrated with U.S. dollars. So I've always thought that was a silly argument. You do hear it brought up a lot by people that are afraid of Bitcoin or people that are trying to get rid of Bitcoin. They always point out how it's used for illicit activity. You know, the dark web is where Bitcoin belongs. I just simply don't think that's true. And I don't think, Elon Musk and Michael Saylor and Goldman Sachs would tie their names to something that is used to buy, I don't even know if I can say certain things that's used to buy. Let's say drugs. Let's go with that. But, or anything to do with children, put it that way. I get very fearful on YouTube now because I want these videos to start getting views and then we'll start cursing away. Believe you me. Maybe not. Now they're squashing us down in the algorithm again. Oh, we're screwed. See, I cleaned up my language. I also get a little manic if you're not familiar with these episodes. When I'm by myself, I go a little nuts. I sound like a 1940s carnival barker anyways, and I really ramp that up when I'm alone for some reason. So bear with me. Not a ton of other Bitcoin news. I'll mention this, that Coinbase has talked about opening up shop in India. Now, a lot of people's concerns over the last couple of weeks and really the last few years, because India throws this out every once in a while. People say that India is going to outlaw Bitcoin. Not so fast, my friends, because if Coinbase plans on going public and being valued at $100 million or whatever crazy number they're at, 100 million or 100 billion. I forget what people talk about Coinbase, that it cannot be 100 billion. That would be wild. But regardless, Coinbase is a very valuable company that is looking to go public this year. And I don't think they're just guessing that they could set up shop in India. If they're discussing it at all, they must have some inkling that Bitcoin and crypto will not be outlawed there. I don't think a company like that just says, well, let's try India. I mean, what are the odds they actually outlaw it? I think they do their due diligence. So that is a good sign for all cryptos. And then real briefly, Michael Saylor has bought more Bitcoin and predicts that Bitcoin could go as high as $5 million. Is there no reason that if Bitcoin takes over the world the way we think it's going to, that it should reach $100 trillion market cap, which would put it at about $5 million per Bitcoin. This is something I've been saying to you guys for a while, that if $60,000 is peanuts if it's going to take over for the world. So just be aware of that. It is smart to buy the dips, I think, always. But if you're waiting to get in, just beware that people are saying this year Bitcoin could be $100,000, $250,000. I saw some talk yesterday that if this ETF gets passed, whether it's Fidelity or Goldman Sachs, if they are allowed to open a Bitcoin ETF by the SEC, then that will instantly bring them to $100,000. So just be aware of all that when you're, pinching pennies, buying the dips and all that. It is a smart process. It's a smart way to do it, but just beware that it could take off at any moment. And you should also beware that it could drop at any moment. I know I sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but I don't want you to come back to me if Bitcoin plummets to $41,000 and say, Mike, what the hell happened? Can I say hell? Damn. Uh-oh. Mike, what happened? Well, that's what Bitcoin often does. And, like I always say, if you need that money in 6 months, maybe you shouldn't be putting it in to Bitcoin. Only spend money that you could afford to lose, because I don't think you will, but I'm also often wrong. And that's why this is not financial advice in any way. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to get to? Nothing crazy important. I did see people going nuts about Bitcoin Cash. They said that why isn't Tesla accepting Bitcoin Cash? You said, Elon, that you would take Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin Cash and I'm trying to give it to you. I've talked about this before. Bitcoin Cash is basically a scam. It was made to essentially make you think that you were buying Bitcoin. And now you've seen Bitcoin fall to the 12th market cap, the 12th biggest market cap in crypto. It was 9th not that long ago. You're seeing it starting to fall, and I think part of that is people are learning what Bitcoin Cash is. It is not an affiliate of Bitcoin. It is merely a ripoff. So just be aware of that. And I think that's about it. We talked about Elon Musk and all that on yesterday's edition on patreon.com/blindmike. So if you want more, make sure you check that out. You can check out the Blind Mike Project for free on iTunes every week. Follow us at Blind Mike Proj on Twitter, Blind Mike Project on Instagram, and I am Blind Mike at Blind Mike _. And I think that's it for this week. And we'll talk to you in the freebie next week on Friday. Or if you need a little quicker update, a quicker turnaround, then Sunday is the $5 edition on patreon.com/blindmike. And until then, let's keep making money, kids.